we're going to get the ball rolling here. We got a maxed out situation here. I hope everybody can get on. Everybody that's listening, you're lucky you've got a line. So, gosh, here we are getting ready to launch an incredible product, and you're getting a look at what our new color theme is going to look like for this product. We're calling it, of course, X-51 for now. The company does have a name. It is in legal. It's not quite ready, but it will be ready for the launch coming September, the official launch September the 5th. So let's get the ball rolling. Got a big call lined up today. I'd like to thank you all for coming on here. Of course, I've got to show a little picture of us, and that's Terry and I. And ooh, yours is a little. Oh, there we go. And yeah, that's kind of what we look like. And of course, you see that beautiful picture of that bride down in the lower left-hand corner there. And yes, we renewed our vows in Hawaii just last June with our kids there, and yeah, my son brought some Panama hats back. But I want to show you another picture before we get started here. Do you remember the truck? A lot of you have seen my truck, and this is a picture of it just before the truck towed away, and you can see these garden stakes and things in there. We had to tow the truck away because I had a new dream, a new vision. I know a lot of you people want to see what's going on up there. And actually, this is that tree that you saw in there, and we planted a new organic garden this year and a greenhouse, and we got drip irrigation, and we got deer fencing, and we've got the whole ball of wax here. It's pretty amazing. Just a long dream, you know. And like I said to people last weekend talking to Sherman, I know it's crazy. I mean, my vegetables are probably going to cost $100 a pound, you know, because of the cost of all of this construction, even if I amortize it over several years. But it was a dream, right? And we could do that, and that's something we couldn't have done before Zango, that's for sure. So we're grateful to be involved, and got a special guest. Before we get into the X-51, we've lined this up. You know, doctors are hard to get a hold of, and so we are fortunate enough to get Dr. Vesna Roy, a person on our team from Michigan, an MD, a wonderful lady, basically a pediatrician. And I'm just going to have her on here for a few minutes at the beginning here to interview her and see what she's been doing with children in her practice. Dr. Roy, are you there?
I'm here, Art. Hi.
Great to hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Great picture. Nice shot, nice family.
Thank you. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Couple of weeks ago, yes. You took a little bit of a holiday. So, Dr. Roy, why don't you give everybody a little bit of your background? You know, I know you're a doctor, but why don't you just tell them, you know, how you got involved in that and how you got involved as a pediatrician?
Okay. Just long short of it, basically at a very young age, at about 11, I had bacterial meningitis, was in a coma for 2 weeks, and amazingly came out of that without any complications, and when I came out of that had said that I wanted to be a pediatrician. And from that point on, I went straight course for pediatrics, went through college, went to Michigan State osteopathic school, and then did my internship, pediatric residency, and have now been out in practice for 13 years.
Wow, that's a fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm in private practice with another woman. We are owners, and then we have another associate, so there's 3 women in the practice. Okay,
great. And so what's got you interested in Zango?
Well, about 18 months ago, I was getting very frustrated with just medicine itself and the use of medication in the children, from ADD to asthmatics to reflux babies, a week old on Zantac for reflux, and all the complications, and it seemed like all I was seeing was more medicine being put into our children. Every time there was a side effect, there would just be another medication added to take that away. And I was really looking for another way to practice. And so I had actually looked at going back to school for even like a naturopathy degree and things like that to start adding to what I could do, and was blessed enough to be introduced to Dr. Tutla, wonderful Dr. Tutla, and hooked up with him, and it just kind of went from there. We did several meetings together, and I have just, every day I'm amazed at the results that I see with my patients.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because one of the reasons I wanted to get you on the call is because there isn't a lot of information, a lot of people talking about the power of Zango juice in children. So what has been your experience, and what do you see? And we're going to even ask some of the dosaging for that.
Okay. You know, just it'll be real quick because I mean I could just go on forever about it, Art. But I've been able to, let's just take asthma. We'll start with asthma, and I've been able to get kids off all their asthma medicine and maintain them with just the Zango with no flare-ups at all. With others, I've been able to decrease their dose so they just have minimal amounts of inhaler use. You know, I've had brothers, you know, just for example, I had one brother that was having lots of behavior issues at school, and the teachers were saying he's got ADD, you need to get him evaluated. And I told the mom, you know what, he's on so many asthma meds, let's get him on the Zango, get him off the meds. And sure enough, he has not flipped one behavior card since he went on the Zango and went off all his asthma meds.
Wow.
Yeah, it is just amazing. I had a girl who was on steroids continuously. As soon as she'd get off steroids, she'd be back on it with another because of another flare-up. And she's been on it for the Zango now for greater than 15 months. Absolutely no steroid use, no flare-ups at all. Now,
well, that's fantastic. So we're talking about asthma, which is an inflammatory kind of response here, right? I mean, it's a form of an anti-inflammatory response, or
right, exactly. I mean, most disease processes are inflammatory based, and so that's why you see the wonderful response. But especially asthma is so. I mean, all the meds that we use for asthma are anti-inflammatory based. So the response has been just incredible. ADD, I've been able to decrease the side effects that I see from the stimulants that the kids are on. Typically, if anybody's familiar with stimulant medications, they usually get a decrease in appetite. And when they're coming off the medication, they get very moody. They're very emotional, and parents just say they fly off the handle. Well, with the Zango, their appetite has increased, and their mood swings have actually decreased. And so coming off the medication, they're just kind of even keel, and I don't have to add another medication to level out those moods like I used to.
So what other kinds of responses have you seen in your practice?
Gastroesophageal reflux. I was very frustrated. Babies 1 to 2 weeks of age, we were having to put on Zantac or Prevacid and dose them with that for anywhere from a couple months to 2-3 years, sometimes even longer. I'm putting babies as young as 2 weeks of age on the Zango, and again, amazing. I mean, I have moms look at me and they're just like, how fast should I see the results? And I'm like, well, it just depends on the baby. And the mom wouldn't make eye contact with me because she goes, I saw it immediately. She says, I thought I was crazy. So,
wow.
It's just been great. And then cholesterol. I had 2 girls specifically that had cholesterols over 200. I'm very proactive. I've seen these kids at age 10, if there's no family history, earlier if there's a family history, because heart disease starts in childhood, does not start when you're 20 and somebody thinks you have high blood pressure. And so I screened them, and sure enough, I have 2 girls, similar ages, 9 to 10, that have strong family histories. They had cholesterols of 247 and like 227 for 2 years.
Wow.
Did all dietary modifications, increased exercise, even sent them to cardiology to say, what else can I do with them? This was before Zango. What else can I do? And they said, well, just increase dietary modification, increase, exercise. Well, thankfully, Zango, came into my life. I put them both on it. I was able to decrease one from 227 to 181 total cholesterol, and the other one from like 247 to 199 total cholesterol. Just incredible.
Well, phenomenal stories, and I know a lot of people are wondering out there, how much to give kids, and so, I mean, we're talking about 1 to 2 week old babies. Let's start with the babies.
Typically any baby under 15 pounds, I give them a teaspoon and a half, or 7.5 mLs, and then I actually just dose it up from there. So, if you've got a baby that is like 15 to 30 pounds, I usually give them 2 teaspoons. Or 10 mL. If I have somebody who's between 30 to 60 pounds, I give them 2.5 teaspoons for 12.5 mL. You want me to keep going?
Yeah. So are these? Are you finding splitting these up? Do you split these up or try to split them up?
I do. I tell them to do 3 times a day. Is that what you're asking, Art?
Yeah. So, like for instance, a 1.5 teaspoons would that be 3 times a day or once a day? Correct. Split up?
No, that's 3 times a day. 1.5 teaspoons.
1.5 teaspoons 3 times a day. Okay.
Correct. And then 60 to 90 pounds, I tell them 3 teaspoons or 15 mLs. And then over 90 pounds, I do adult dosing at 1 ounce or 30 mLs. And obviously, I change the dosing. I mean, if I've got a baby that is not responding to, let's say, 1.5 teaspoons, I actually bump their dose up. I mean, if they're still symptomatic, they get increased. So
phenomenal. It's exciting to hear this, and think about the differences it can make in the lives of children. And, of course, you're dealing, once again, Dr. Templeman has this saying that, that prevention isn't as sexy as dealing with some kind of a problem, but a lot of folks, I don't think about really the prevention aspect of having their children on juice.
Exactly. And just, a little side note also, I have used it in kids that are, really sick. Obviously, I just get them and actually, double or triple their dose.
Yes.
Just to give you a quick story, I had a kid who was 17 going on his senior trip to Mexico, came to see me on Good Friday, miserable, horrible sore throat. The mom's looking at me. She goes, he's supposed to be going on the red eye tomorrow morning. She said, we are going to lose all this money because he can't swallow. He's so sick. I said, here. Gave her the bottle. I said, 4 ounces now, 4 ounces in 3 hours, 4 ounces again tonight, 4 ounces in the morning. He got on that plane like he was never sick.
This is a great story. It's kind of like an emergency attack here, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was great. And I've done that several times with my own kids when they're sick. I just increase their dose, and before I know it, they're well.
4 ounces every 3 hours.
Well, again, depending on the weight, I kind of dose it, depending on how, I usually tell my patients, the ones that are using it, I go double the dose that you're using when they're sick. So whatever they're on, normally just double that dose when they're sick with something.
Well, I know, Vesna, we're going to have you back on again when we've got more time to kind of get into this and maybe even take a few questions. But so you've decided to turn this into a business then, really, haven't you?
I have. At first I got into it, just obviously looking at it, I wanted to do something different in medicine. But then more recently I looked at it and said, you know what? The way medicine is going, the way economy is going, I'm in private practice, so basically once I'm done, there is nothing at the end.
Right.
And so, I thought, you know what? I really need to look at this as a business also. So I'm trying to juggle both and do it.
Well, we're grateful to have you on the team for sure.
Well, Vesna, this is Terry. It's been so great talking with you and working with you. You've done an amazing job. I mean, you're truly changing people's lives, and that's what this great juice is all about. And so thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Art and Terry.
Yes, and we'll have you back on again. And for those of you that want to hear more about Dr. Roy, we'll have her on and maybe get her to do up. I know she's working on perhaps a brochure and things for children, so look for that stuff coming in the future. Once again, thank you, Dr. Roy.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
Wow, that was exciting, wasn't it? And so we have this incredible juice that's been the foundation for everything, and I think it's appropriate as we get ready to launch this new product that we don't forget the power of this juice that has changed so many lives, that has had such an incredible impact on the health. You can't hear me? So do you know anyone who is tired, stressed, or depressed is the question. Do you know anyone who is, so I got to tell you a little story here because the company has given us, I think, one of the greatest talking points or lead comments that you can make that I have seen. Do you know anyone who is tired, stressed, or depressed, right? And so we had we have a house cleaner, kind of gardener that comes by, and she's running around in the house, and of course the fax machines were running this week. We'll talk about our pre-orders, what we've been doing to launch X-51. But to give you an idea, here's somebody that really kind of knows what's going on, and so she hears this new product, and she's like, well, what's this new product about? I says, well, it's for people that are tired, stressed, and depressed. And she says, well, that's everybody, right? And so that is the key. This is something that everybody can relate to. These are the words that you're going to want to get familiar with and use as you're beginning to approach people. And so, yes, how would you like to feel cheerful, energetic, alert, vigorous, resilient, and youthful? And that's what this product has the ability to do. So let's get into what we're not going to do today is we're not going to get into a long, dissertation on all about what this product does in terms of training on the product. There's plenty of places you can go. Dr. Sean Talbot has had many recorded calls with details on the product. This is meant to be a marketing, training, how to take this product and turn it into a very fun, lucrative business. And so we're just getting ready to go into what's called pre-launch. So far, all that you've been doing has been prior to pre-launch. And you're getting a look at our new capsule, which is a chlorophyll-colored veggie cap. I know, Terry, you're really excited about this. Did you get back on the line?
Yeah, I'm back on. Yes, I am very excited about this. I mean, think about it, you guys. Everybody out there wants veggie caps. Okay, that's really important. But chlorophyll, and they're green. And so this is really exciting. This is state of the art. I mean, trust Zango to come out with something outrageous like this. I mean, this company is first class all the way. And the next slide that you can see, we've actually, the white capsule is the one we used to take, and these are the new green ones, and they've actually made them smaller, which is going to be great. They've taken any fillers out. It's going to be in its purest form, and it'll be a lot easier for people to swallow, especially for the elderly people.
Yeah, and so we're into what's called taking pre-launch orders here, and this is kind of how it looks. And we've got the 6-packs. This is what it's going to look like in this stage. So basically, X-51 is going to be, we're going to be with X-51 until the launch. We may hear the name, but until the launch in September. And so this is the packaging for the pre-launch. You'll see a larger bottle here, which is basically the same as our 1-week supplies now, and a small bottle for 1 week. This is the same packaging here in terms of the shape of the bottle that you're going to see when the company launches it. This is the shape of the bottle permanent, but it'll have our brand name and the actual name on it. And these 1-week supplies are going to come into different packaging once we're ready to launch. So 30-day supply, $55. Order lines will be open on Monday. It's going to be busy, I know, so try to get your orders in early. The other hot item we're going to be talking about is the 7-day trial pack, which you get 6 of those for $100 and 100 PV, and then they're going to have some brochures coming out, and it's going to ship next week. So the product has not arrived yet, so it's going to ship next week. I know we're going to have to be a little bit of patient there. They've got just a test batch of it in. They're expecting it any day next week. As soon as they get it, they're going to turn around and ship it out immediately. So Terry and I have been working, and I really want her to come on and talk about what she's been doing and invite Deb Pazzo here, because we decided, or Terry decided, it was time to get into action on this, Terry, and start the pre-ordering and pre-launching of X-51. So I want you to tell everybody exactly what you've been doing here, and also Deb Pazzo, and bring her on as a special guest.
Well, you know, I love working the phones, and I love working with our leaders. And so I said to Art on Monday, I said, you know, I just think we got to get the fax machines running. I really want to do this. And so we waited till Tuesday, and I said, I'm not waiting any longer. I'm going to phone our leaders, and I'm going to get the fax machines running. So we phoned our premiers and up, and I said to them, look, you guys can go out and get orders. We're going to do pre-launch orders. You're going to fax them to all of your premiers, have your people fax them to you, and then we'll fax them into our reps when we can. I said, I haven't got the okay from the company yet, but I'm sure it'll all be fine, and we'll get it cleared. So anyways, I phoned Deb Pazzo. And Deb, are you there?
I'm here, Terry.
Hey, Deb. She's our wonderful 20K out in Ontario, Canada. Deb, you really worked with your group all the last 4 days. I mean, I was just amazed what you were able to do to bring in orders. And so, Deb, when I phoned you and told you we were going to do this, what were some of your action steps that you got to get your team excited about this new product?
Well, just like you, I started working the phone.
Exactly.
I started calling my leaders, just as you had been calling yours, and saying, look, we have this opportunity, we have this chance, let's jump on it, let's get these orders in. And they started working their phones. And
I know Tuesday you had a party over at your house, didn't you?
We did.
A Zango party.
We did. I had a business, like a team leaders party, and
right.
Actually I asked you and Art to phone in.
Right.
And basically what I did that night was I asked them to remember what it was where they were before they heard of Zango. So I want you to think back 2 years ago and tell me where you were, what you felt like, what your heart felt like, what your dreams were like. And then I asked them to remember what they saw in Zango, what piqued their interest.
Wow,
what got
that's
them
exciting.
interested.
And you know, Deb, you've been on the product since Hawaii. Deb was fortunate enough to go into Hawaii with Krista, and it was a very exciting event because Deb got to get on the product and really experience it. And you've had some phenomenal results with you and Gary, haven't you?
Actually, yes, Terry, we've had incredible results, but I was fortunate enough to get on in Las Vegas.
Yes, that's right. You were part of our first focus team. We had 3 focus teams, and Deb was part of our first focus team. We took 5 of our people at Las Vegas that came leaders, and we put her on the products. And we didn't tell you absolutely anything, did we, Deb?
Nothing. I had no idea what it was. We didn't have a clue what it was, what we were looking for. We were just asked to trust you and try it, and we did.
Exactly, and I'll never forget, we're sitting around this little round table in a hush-hush little corner, weren't we, in a lounge, and I remember opening up the bottle, and Krista looked in the bottle, and she says, what color is it? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
That was very exciting, and now here we found out that, yes, the color is going to be green. So, Deb, you've just done an amazing job with your team this week, because Deb actually did $10,000 worth is what she pulled in.
Wow.
And so, you know, I just want to honor you and your team and how much work that you guys did, and you just really stepped it up. And, you know, you could have been out sitting in the backyard and suntanning or whatever, but instead you picked up the phone and you really worked it. You worked those faxes coming in. But better yet, we got such excitement out of it, didn't we, Deb?
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So I just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Terry. I thank you for having me on. I thank you for including me in that very first trial, and I even thank you for letting me run out.
Yes, we let Deb run out just before Hawaii because we wanted to see what happens to this product when people do run out. And wow, we took product with us to Hawaii, so she was able to get her product there and go back on it. But it was an amazing, amazing story for Deb. And that story Deb's going to be able to have with her forever. So thanks so much, Deb. Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, Deb Pazzo, a fantastic leader from Windsor. Great job. And, of course, the Loretta and Marnie, Loretta Bakari, Marnie McMillan did a great job, over 10,000 in volume as well. 3 orders. The Sardas brought in a bunch of orders. So the whole team kind of worked together. It was a lot of fun here. 200 and some odd orders coming through here, pre-orders, as we're getting just the beginning of getting people started on this. So where can you get more information on the product? We're going to have company is going to have a pre-launch broadcast on Monday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. There'll be 2 different segments of this. This will be on YouTube and Zango.tv, and it'll be available for rebroadcast. So you'll be able to get more information on the launch from the company on Monday. And also, they have a new website that is launching on Monday, and you'll find it at zango.com/X-51. Until we get the new name, you'll see that on Monday. You'll see our colors there and our whole branding there. This is part of our new branded survey we'll be talking about in a minute. So there'll be lots more information for you that want more details on the product and so on. But what we want to focus on today is a little bit more of the marketing and how can you build a huge business with this. And basically, you know, it's just amazing how this whole thing is unfolded. And so we have had an actual experience of how to market this product through our own trials. You remember when we first started to launch this, the company gave us 2 bottles each of the 500Ks, and then they ramped it up to the $1 Million Club. And immediately, we started following suit. We started getting a couple bottles out into a few of what we called our guinea pig group. Deb Pazzo, the Sardas, and Krista. And that was the only original group that we got on it. And then we expanded that, and we got Loretta and Marnie and a few other folks and Lisa Scope on it and let them trial it. And then we opened it up as we got some more, and we got a whole bunch of other people on it in our team that we called our guinea pig group. And so we found by what we're doing here is the power of these trial bottles and how powerful they can be. And this is, and so there's a whole experience, if you will, and the company has got an experience, and we've got statistics, and we've got background here to show that if you can get people on 1 or 2 weeks of this stuff, most of them are going to get knockout results. And so I see a tremendous opportunity here as a marketing person to get this trial bottle momentum established in your business. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this. And I can tell you some of this is going to go through you very quickly. So I'm going to do another version of this again next Saturday because I really want you to get this little system down here. Because to me, the trial bottle is rejection-free sharing here. I mean, $20 there's no resistance at that price level. You know, it's a perfect kind of price point to work at with this opportunity here. So trial bottle momentum, rejection-free sharing, it's an irresistible offer. Nobody is going to be able to turn you down. And you're going to what's called feed the funnel, and feed the funnel is something I'm going to be talking about later. So this is grassroots sharing. And Terry's pointing out that the screen is kind of funny here, so let me see if I can okay, can't figure that out. So it's showing you some funny stuff on my screen here, but it doesn't matter. There, it's gone. So here's what our actual experience is. Now, I really want you to pay very close attention. You should have a pen and paper down here right now because this is going to be very important. If you're going to work with these trial bottles, and I believe this is a great way to get the word out on a mass level, and I'm going to walk you through this step by step at a time, but I want you to look at this survey. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out here. These are 23 of our team members that completed this survey. So there were some that may have not completed the survey because they didn't see results, okay? And so I'm going. But when I approached the company with my statistics, they said this is exactly the same kind of numbers we've been seeing. So what did we find? We found after 1 week, 17% of the people had already experienced life-changing results. That's amazing. You know, that's absolutely amazing. But if you look at it, in the week 1, 17% were life-changing, almost 9% impressive, 17% were excellent. So, and then there was 39% that were noticing something was happening, but they weren't sure what it was. They didn't have, you know, they didn't have a handle on it. So if you really look at the statistics, only about 40% of the people were getting what would be called really good results in the first week. And so that if you just get a week out and you don't follow up and you don't get you don't follow through on the survey, you're going to lose a lot of people after a week. So I like the idea of the week supply, but yet you've got to do your follow-up. And Terry's going to talk about that later, because what happens in week 2, you'll find that this 40% roughly with excellent or better results has gone up to 69% in 2 weeks. So this is a very, very phenomenal story here that we've got. The company has seen incredible. So 82% noticing something after a week is just the most amazing thing I've ever seen in all of our years in the industry. That's why everybody's excited about it. So fires start at the bottom of your organization. Did you realize that? Fires start at the bottom. What I'm talking about, the fires at the bottom are with the grassroots distributor. When you sign somebody up and bring them into the business and they start sponsoring people, that's what creates a fire. So if we can get these single bottles that are rejection-proof going out into the marketplace, I'm going to show you how that's going to develop momentum in your business. Terry, anything that you wanted to add at this part?
No, I'm going to be talking about follow-up in a bit, you know, and I just think that this is going to be the key to the whole thing. So it's going to be very exciting. I'll let you finish this part, Art.
Hello.
He's going to be back in a minute, guys.
Okay, so do you know anyone who is tired, stressed, or depressed? And so this is a way that you can break into a conversation with anybody. As you're talking to people in the street, do you know anybody? Now, there's a key here, and I don't know if you were aware of it or not. It's a much easier way of opening a conversation when you say, do you know anyone, instead of are you? You're asking them a specific question directed at them, and that's kind of can be threatening to people. But when you ask them, do you know anybody who's tired, stressed, or depressed? And most people, what I've seen is they'll say everyone. And you say, well, I mean, for me, I mean, I just feel so much better on this. I mean, they'll ask you pretty well, what do you do? I mean, what does it do to you? Well, you can help you feel like you used to. It helps people sleep better. It's all-day energy. You're going to get some of your own bullet points and words of way to describe this. And we're finding about 80% are noticing something from this new product that I'm on. And so would you like to try some? It's just $20 a bottle. I mean, it's really about finding a way to get into a conversation with people, but the $20 is something that you'll find no resistance to. So would you like to try some? And it's as simple as that. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to get into ingredients. You want to keep it very, very simple. Your story will you're telling your story alone. Yeah, I'm feeling so much better. I've got long-lasting energy. I seem to be dealing with stress better. I've got one of these trial bottle samples. Would you like to try it? So you keep it very, very simple. Do you know anyone that's tired, stressed, or depressed? And from that conversation, everything else will come up. So there's how that looks. That's how you can see that. You can feel like you used to feel. You can sleep better, get all-day energy, calmer, happier, and those kinds of things. So here's what we're talking about when we're talking about feeding the funnel here. And I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to launch a poll here right now. So get ready to – whoops. Sorry about that. Hold on a second. Second here.
Art's going to take a few minutes and get this poll ready, you guys. For those of you that are on the computer, you'll be able to take this poll, and then he'll give the results afterwards. So he's just going to pull up the question here for you in 1 minute or so. Just a second here.
Well, we're talking about feeding the funnel, so hold on a second here. We're going to launch a poll here because I want you to get an idea how this works in your business.
Okay, here's your poll.
So there's the poll. How many new Zango contacts did you make last week? Because the key to this business is in how many people do you have coming into your conversations? How many new contacts are you making on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? This is what fuels the fire. This is what begins the whole prospecting process, right? So the more people that you are talking with, the more people you have entering your funnel. And the wider your funnel, which means the more conversations that you're into with people, the more people you'll end up coming out the bottom of the funnel, which would be, in this case, a business builder. And so we're just causing you a poll. How many new contacts did you make last week? And we're going to close this poll in a second. So the whole thing is that I think the biggest challenge that most people have in their business is they don't talk to enough people. And so we're going to find out how many people everybody's talking to, and we'll show you the results of that poll, and then we'll move on to the next thing here. So we've got about 65% voted. We're going to close it here in just another 10 seconds, and we're going to show you the results of that poll, and you're going to see, okay, and here's the results of it. 70% voted.
I can see it.
You can see it?
Art can't see it.
Oh, okay, you can see it. Okay. So there you go. So you can see that most people are only talking to 2 to 4 people per week. You see? 11% haven't talked to anybody. So 20% only talking to one person last week. That's not enough to build a business, isn't it? And honestly, 2 to 4 is not enough either, really. 5 to 10, 26% of the group here. And don't forget, these are all the committed leaders that are coming on the call today. So what if you could double, triple, or quadruple this? See? What if you could what if you could greatly increase the number of people that you're talking to? And that's what we're trying to get across here with the single bottle trials. So how does this trial bottle process work? And how can you make it work for you? It's $20. Now, of course, don't let your minimums become maximum, right? In other words, as you approach people with the idea of just trying this for a week for $20, as you get into conversation and as you build value for what it is that you have here, many of them will decide on 2 weeks, or many of them will decide that they'd like to join and buy it wholesale. And so don't just do the $20. I mean, we naturally would love to get everybody on a month, but we'd rather get 10 times as more people on a single bottle than we would as a month. And so you can feed your pipeline this way. So here's how it would look. Get your $20, and this is in your local marketing. The actual bottle is going to cost you $16.67, right? So with tax and shipping, you might make a couple dollars a bottle here. You could add tax on to the end and recapture your tax, but let's just keep it simple here. $20. You're going to get their email. You're going to send them some links to the website, and you're going to send them a link to the survey. And that survey is going to be located at /X-51. And it's very, very important that you have them complete the survey, because what you'll find is that about 80% of the people after a week will notice an increase in the scores of their survey. And they will be encouraged to definitely want to take it a second week or go on a month's supply, even if they haven't noticed significant benefits. So you see how the value of the survey, if we only have 40% that are noticing excellent benefits, there's another 40% there that are noticing something, but they're not sure if it's good or bad. Maybe they don't know that they're even feeling better. They're just noticing something. But you can impact that 40% that haven't really noticed much by having them complete the second part of the survey, because that survey is going to show about 85% of the people that complete the survey are showing benefits that they're starting to quantitate in their mind, but they haven't actually felt necessarily in their body. So that's the power of the survey. Terry's going to talk about follow-up in a second. You're going to want to follow up in 7 days to make them complete the survey. That way you manage their expectations. You invite them to take another week or wholesale or join and become a business builder. We'll talk about how that will work. And then once you have somebody interested at looking more into it, we've got an X-51 call we're going to be talking about soon, and also one of our Go Team webinars to learn about the business. But let's get into the follow-up process here.
Hi, okay, thanks, Art. Follow-up is my passion, you guys. I just think that this is the most important thing you can do in your Zango business with all of the products, your juice, your glimpse, your 365, and now, of course, X-51. When we first got on this product, and Art and I were excited, we, of course, did the first focus team, which was 5 people. We moved from 5 people to 25 people. When we did the 5 people, the 25, and then we had 72 people, which then we opened it up to our premiers and got them to get some people, I did all of the follow-up on the 25 people, the 5 and then 25 people. The reason I did that is I wanted to know, what does this product do? And everybody's body is different. Remember, we're rebalancing the body in a different way than the juice is doing. The juice is xanthones. This is working totally different. And, things can be very subtle in the body. And so what I like to say, and what I said to our people when I called them, I actually asked them to write down on a little piece of paper on the refrigerator how they were feeling, or what small little changes were happening in their life, or, were they feeling better? Were they dealing with stress better? Did they seem calmer? Were they sleeping better? What was really going on? And we found out tremendous stuff that people put on their refrigerator. And what was happening is some people were actually even thirstier. I know Krista was thirsty, and she had to drink more water. And I think water is another important thing when you do your follow-up to tell people, is to drink lots of water. So remember, you're taking 2 of these capsules in the morning with food, with your breakfast, okay? Some will take more, and that's fine. Everybody's body is different, remember? And so, some people are very sensitive like me, so everyone's going to be different. But if you phone them and get some of these buzzwords, I call them, okay, to see how they're feeling. But let's say the wife is on it and the husband isn't. And the husband starts to notice, or the kids start to notice, like in Lisa Scope's situation. The kids started to notice, like, wow, Mommy's a lot calmer now. And she's really, she's a lot more easier to live with because she's not, getting me to clean my room quite as much every day. They're handling stress better. People start to sleep better, you guys. This is an amazing thing. They start to want to exercise. I know Audie Matissa, he's exercising now, something that he hasn't done much of. And so it's going to be a life-changing experience, but you guys have to pick up the phone. You're not doing your people justice if you don't. And so let's say you get them on it for a week, 1 week, and if you don't pick up the phone after they've been on it for a couple of days and say, hey, Betty, just wondering how you're doing on your X-51, keep in touch with your people. Then phone her in 5 days. Phone them at least twice. Remember, they're just on it for a week. And she might say, well, it's funny, I had a situation happen, and I didn't seem to, get really that upset about it. I seem to be handling stress better, and I seem to be, really a lot happier. I've really noticed certain people that have been on it longer now, their tones are changing in their voice. They've got this perky tone about them. They've got this excitement, And so it's really exciting to see these people growing and changing, and the wives and the husbands and the children noticing that the mood is changing in the household because people are happier. So, I really encourage you guys to pick up the phone, ask questions, how's your sleep pattern? How has it changed? What's going on in your life? Are you extra busy? Are you handling that stress better? You see, these are buzzwords, I call them. And so get the person to put a small piece of paper on the refrigerator and just kind of, write something down each day and see how they're feeling. So I'll encourage you to do that because that week, when you get them on those trial bottles, that's just 1 week. You then want to introduce them to, hey, why don't you bump it up to another week or a month? And those will be the choices that you'll make at that time. Now, will everybody get experiences? No, not in a week. They won't. And that's okay. We put 2 couples on, for instance, that have never been on it, and we gave it to them. I would not suggest giving bottles away free. I don't think that works. I think people that pay for their bottles, they put their own energy and time into it because they put their $20 up. I think that's an important thing. But we put 2 couples on, and it just so happened that the 2 couples were only on it for a week each. And it's like, well, I noticed something was kind of happening, but I don't think I was on it long enough. We told them that they were guinea pigs. This is in the beginning part. And they said, I think we'd like to go on it for like a month to really see something happening. And so that is what you're wanting people to do. And, if they go off of it, I'll tell you what, then they'll really notice that, wow, I've been on it for a month and I don't want to run out of this.
Yeah, exactly, Terry. So with a little bit of follow-up, even the people that don't really notice anything significant in the week are quite willing to try it more. Plus, you can send them links to Dr. Talbot, some of his interviews. You can validate it. And so, and I just I'm trying to get a point across here at how you can really create massive momentum. So I asked a question just before Terry finished there. How many people have you sponsored in the last 30 days? And you can see what the fundamental problem is with building a business. If you haven't sponsored anybody in the last 30 days, your business is not growing. You're in management mode, right? Or maybe you're new. Maybe you've just started, okay? So I understand that. But what if you could change that? What if you were always sponsoring 1 or 2 people per month? Wouldn't that be life-changing? And for those of you leaders who, what I consider a leader is somebody that sponsors more than 1 person a month. But even 1 person a month consistently every month for 12 months can be very significant if it's consistent every single month. But if you really want to build momentum, you have to get into this 3 to 4 per month. 2 to 4 per month is talking about building momentum. It's much easier to build this fast than it is to build this slow. So let me show you what I see can happen if you'll work these single bottles. Now, let me tell you this. First of all, there isn't one way to do anything, right? And so you don't have to just lead with 1 week supplies. Some of you are quite comfortable at going out into certain numbers of the people that you know and having them go on it for a month. That's no problem. But the brand new person, the duplicatable person that you bring in, what if you were to bring in somebody through this system, and as soon as they join, and buy a $55 1-month supply, and they've got started on a week, the next thing they're going to want to do right away is they're going to want to get one of these 6-packs for themselves of the 1-week supplies, and they might buy 1 or 2 of those to start sharing them. And so if you were to get out, and let's say you've got to set your own goal on this, and I know there's some leaders out there saying, hey, I think if you really want to hit it big, you can get 30 bottles a month out here. We're not talking about giving these away. We're not talking about an expense here. We're talking about something that you're buying and reselling and capturing all of your money back and maybe even a small profit. So what if you were to get 12 bottles per month out here, and you can see 12 trial bottles per month, so that costs you $200, but you're going to get that money back. I think you could convert with follow-up 8 of those into wholesale buyers. And by that, I mean somebody that might at least come in and buy a bottle and join and buy wholesale direct from the company, right? And 4 of those would probably start sharing some of it, because on a 1-week supply, this is easy for a new person to share. Remember, 80% of your downline are what I call users and shares. What if there's a way that you can get those users and shares that aren't really committed to building a business to start sharing this? And so I think you could find 2 builders per month. So in other words, I think you could be sponsoring through this trial bottle approach as many as 8 per month instead of 0 or instead of 1 or instead of 2. Do you see how this feeds your funnel? Do you see what this would do to the momentum of your business if you're consistently getting out a trial bottle at an irresistible offer at a price that nobody's going to turn down? Then if you do the work on follow-up, you're going to sign up a certain percentage of those. A certain percentage of those are going to start sharing, and you can double and triple your sign-up rate per month. And if you start duplicating that in your organization, that's what we call momentum. And that's how you can build this fast, and that's how you can build it huge. And I happen to know there's somebody out there that has ordered 30 of these trial bottles because they feel like they can move 30 bottles a month at $20. And so you could do twice as many and double all your numbers here. So I really see these 6-packs as being an incredible marketing tool, just getting people to try it, get a lot of people on it. If you follow up, a certain percentage of those are going to be so excited, they're going to start sharing it, and you can build a whole new wave. And guess what's going to happen once they get results on X-51? What about that juice that you've got there? What about that glimpse? And what about those vitamins? And so this will feed into the other products that we have naturally. Now, as soon as you get somebody here that shows an interest in the business, then they enter into the business funnel, and you should do everything that you normally do. You're going to have to learn how to convert customers and product users into the business, and you use that by doing 3-way calls. You use that by getting the proper CDs into their hands. You use that by getting them onto any one of our Go Team webinars. What a perfect place to take some of the people that are getting results on this X-51 and they want to know more about the company, just plug them into a webinar and let somebody else present the whole idea of the business to them for you. Fun, simple, easy. So this is very exciting, what I see this duplicating in the downline, Terry.
This is truly amazing. You know, we've watched over the last 2 months about getting new people on the webinars, the evening webinars that are live, and I think the live is very important. It's too easy for people to say, well, I'll listen to it later, and guess what, they don't. And so these live webinars have just been phenomenal, and Art's been using those with 3-way calls and conference calls, and he's been getting new people to it, and our downline's been getting new people to it, and it has really paid off. I mean, talking about feeding the funnel, so I suggest that you all get on board with that.
Yeah, and so we're just asking a poll here just to see how pumped everybody is about it. There's another poll up there. I mean, the polls are kind of interesting, aren't they? You know, give you some chance to give some feedback and see how other people are feeling about it. And so we've got 63% voted, and we're going to close it here in just a few seconds because you can almost tell what the results of this poll are going to be. And so let's close the poll and show the results of that. So do you think there's some excitement about X-51 out there? 72% can't wait. 24% very excited. So 96% of you are ready to rock and roll, and so very, very exciting, isn't it? So let's we're getting used to running these polls, and let's get into the next slide here. So we've got lots of tools coming up. Pre-launch tools here. There's a frequently asked question that's available. Look for all of this stuff at /X51 coming up on Monday. This is a trifold brochure that they're going to have available that you can order. Website with landing page with the survey. So we're going to have this whole survey thing that you're going to be launching as part of that upgraded, and that survey thing is just going to get nothing but better. Finally here, wisdom from the field. Okay, now this is what the company has learned during its whole pre-launch to pre-launch process with the field. Okay, so in other words, we have tested things out there, haven't we? We've all gone out there and gotten bottles out, and we found out things to do and not to do. It's a feel-good product. So you focus on it, makes you feel better. Some people are calling it the happy pill. Unfortunately, I'm thinking some people might think it's a drug if you call it a happy pill. But it's a feel-good product. People are feeling good. You should be using these trial sizes. We're entering a new category, which you haven't talked about much, because this is a new category product. It's in the Vigor. And Vigor is a new category of feeling good, feeling energetic, mental acuity, better mood, happy, and backed by real research. You have not seen the research on this yet. And the company I know is going to be showing that. They're saving a few of the stuff until the launch, but there's a lot of research that's been done by Dr. Sean Talbot on this. He's put over 1,000 people in his patients on this particular formula. He's done clinical studies on it. The results, the backup on this is phenomenal. You're going to see more about that, and also look for him going around the country here very shortly. Avoid ingredient pitches. Don't talk about the ingredients so much. That just complicates things. Don't just focus on what it does to the metabolic hormones, because it can get confusing. And don't complicate it with too much information. Remember, if I feel great, I'm getting energy, it just helps you feel like you used to feel. Would you like to try a bottle? So write down a few key phrases. Keep it simple. You should be able to get somebody's interest in less than 30 seconds on this.
And I love the phrase, we're rebalancing the body, because everybody can understand that word. I think that's really important to recognize that. If women's hormones are out of whack, it's because our balance in our body is out of whack. And so I think it's important to just use our body as going back into balance in a natural kind of way.
And just an announcement, July 27th, the pericarp oil is going to be available, and we're going to have Beverly Hollister on our call on August the 1st to talk about the launch of the pericarp oil and the mineral treatment coming up later in the month. So I'd like to invite a good friend of ours from the other side of the hill to come on now and talk about one of the new little projects that he's going to be launching that's going to help us all. John Shaw, Premier, John and Laurel, premiers from the other side of the hill here. And I originally approached John not with the product, but with the idea of getting off the freeways. And so, John Shull, are you there?
I certainly am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear, John, and got some great shots of you in your relaxed state up at the Paradise Lodge here, not far from where we live.
Yeah, up at Mount Rainier. That was just really, it's been completely remodeled, and it's quite nice. Yeah. Those are good pictures. You did a good job there, Art.
Yeah, so, John, you've been involved for a while. I know you're pretty excited about X-51. What's got you excited about it, and then what are you starting to do that's going to help everybody?
Well, I've been with Zango since November 2003, so Zango's been very good, and this product really does make you feel good again. So as a way of just connecting to a whole new audience, I wanted to do something that can help other people that are trying to do the same thing and start a weekly conference call. It'll be about 20 minutes to half an hour, and it'll be a brand new call that's going to focus on X-51 that'll empower it'll empower you with knowledge and personal stories. You can invite your team, of course, and guests. And it's not going to be complicated. We're going to talk about the results that people have. And like Art mentioned, we don't need to get into all the ingredients. We'll put up a website that's got links to all those things, or we'll be able to direct people to all the scientific studies, but we want to talk about the great things that it does, why you feel good, the different categories of feeling lively or active or energetic or cheerful or alert or carefree, and better sleeping patterns. And those are the things that we'll talk about, which are they're really the benefits.
Yeah, so this is, I've put it up on the screen here. These are Monday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Same phone number you dialed in on today, and this is going to be a lot of fun. So this is another tool that you can use when you're wanting to introduce people to the idea of X-51. There's something each week that will present and train and provide information. I think it's a great idea.
Right, and you know, to me, I just see the incredible simplicity of using this product and also marketing it. I mean, imagine just asking somebody what it would feel like to them to feel good again. You know, what was it like 20 years ago, if they could remember, or 10 years? And when you talk about an all-natural product that has 85% see results in 1 week and there's a 30-day guarantee, we can talk about the benefits of that people are going to feel in their body and their attitude that changes, and that's what we're going to try to direct it to.
Yeah, there's a tremendous, of course, opportunity here to get out to people that you've already communicated with before, introduce it to them. You know, you've got downline, and some of them, you know, haven't really heard much about it yet. They're not in the loop. This is a call that you can direct them to where they can just learn some basic information, hear some great stories, and an informational call. Anything else you wanted to add on this, John? Or
no, we've got the first call will come up this Monday at 6 Pacific time, and Marnie is available. Loretta may have a conflict. She'll let me know, and we'll kick it off, and we'll do it every Monday at 6, and it'll be a half hour, so it's not going to take up a lot of your time. We'll talk first about the benefits and then have personal stories for the last 15 minutes, and that's it. So it's a quick touchstone, so you can come in, touch base with what's going on, and move on with the rest of your evening.
Well, thanks a lot, John, and fun to be working with you on this. I really appreciate you guys.
Oh, it's going to be great. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so there you go. Just wanted to talk about the Doug Weed Tour that's happening right now. I know a lot of you have heard about it. I don't know if you've got plans to attend. I really think what we're getting the feedback is that these are fantastic momentum-building events, especially if you can bring some guests to them. And so let's look at some of the locations coming up. We've got July 23rd, Vancouver, BC. You can get the schedule from xgopro.com. July 25th, Troy, Michigan. I know Dr. Roy is going to that. If you want to meet her, you could probably find her there. July 30th, Las Vegas. August 1st, Sacramento. August 6th, Louisville, Kentucky. August 8th, Greensboro, North Carolina. August 13th, San Diego. August 15th, Seattle here. And we're actually having Alina Larson from Corporate is going to be doing an X-51 presentation in that morning as well. If you're wanting to attend that, we have a pre-registration special on. You can save some money by pre-registering. If you haven't got the flyer, you haven't seen it yet, send an email to artman@thurston.com, and we will send you the flyer for the Seattle event here. We're starting to get people in for that. Then we got Houston, Texas, New England, and, of course, finishing off with Salt Lake City. So fantastic series of events coming up. Also, we've got the ABC promotion. I think, we've got somebody that's won a couple of these ABCs. The Golden Ticket, Deb's got a gal that's got a couple of these ABC promotions. The Golden Ticket, you want to look into how you can get a golden ticket for a convention. And, of course, there's still a free sign-up when somebody comes on a 200 PV auto ship. And so this is powerful that's happening right now, not to forget about that. And so next Saturday, we're going to talk about X-51 more. We're going to go into a little bit more depth. We'll have some other guests on. And then Saturday, August 1st, Beverly Hollister. So anything you want to add before we finish out the call today?
Well, I just think we're all very excited about this new launch that's happening Monday morning. Yes, the phone lines will be open. I suggest you all get on the product, give your body a chance to rebalance itself, and share it. I mean, we're changing people's lives, you guys, and I know we're going to be hearing some great, great stories in the next months to come.
Yeah, you know, and let's face it, that's the bottom line, is an opportunity to make a positive impact on somebody's life. And what we're seeing also, one of the things I'm excited about is seeing how it seems to help relationships, you know. If there's not this stressed out attitudes going on, people are getting along better. I know Grace Dick has a great line, and she says it's an anti-inflammatory for relationships, so it cools things down. And oftentimes we're also seeing that the spouse notices benefits the actual person isn't noticing. So it's going to be a really fun product to share. And I just want to remind you that one of my favorite sayings, of course, is everything in life starts with a decision. Have you decided to build a big business with X-51 yet? You have to make up your mind first, you know. You can't just sit on the fence here and expect your business to grow. So it's a wonderful opportunity, isn't it? And I'm not saying that you need to drop everything else that you're doing just to do X-51, for instance. But if you don't have momentum, if you're part of the 50% that haven't sponsored anybody in 30 days, that means you know, unless you're new, haven't been working your business anyway. Why not take a hold of this? And as you begin to gain confidence in getting this product out there at a rejection-free price of $20 and a low price of $55, you'll start to build your confidence up, and you'll start to talk to more and more people, and you'll start to feed that funnel, and you can create a storm in this. So you've got to take the next step. What are you going to do on Monday? Are you going to make a list of names here? Make a list of names of people that you think would like to try a week supply, and keep it simple. And yeah, I know there's some of those that'll easily go for the month. But and so we're not going to just tell you only to start with a week supply. But the idea is here, if we can get you and your team into action to where you're talking to more people, however that looks, it's going to be a good thing for your business. So I'd like to thank you for coming on. Thanks for the guest, Dr. Roy. Great to have you on, and look forward to having you on again sometime. And, of course, Deb Pazzo, 20K. And we'll see you all next week. We've got lots of webinars, goteamwebinar.com. Phenomenal series of webinars. Ever wonder how to get people interested in the business? And register them for a webinar. We got John's call next week and our webinar again next Saturday. Once again, thank you all. Let's open up the line so we can give a little cheer to the company for all of the great work on X-51 and thank our guests. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.